I'm Dr. Ashley,
And this is Sherry.
and this is From Her Point of View.
We are back.
We are back.
We are back with another episode, season 3, From Her Point of View.
Did you miss us? They missed us.
I missed us.
So we
This has been a process.
Oh yeah, and it's been a few months since we wrapped up season 2, but I can assure you that this season is worth the wait.
So worth the wait. Good stuff going on for you guys. So we hope everybody's getting ready to tune in. Buckle up.
So earlier this year at our 2021 Vision Board Party, the virtual event, now, we did this in 2020, we did it again in 2021. So stay tuned for 2022. But we asked our participants, like, what did they want to hear on the podcast? What did they want us to talk about? And they talked and we listened and we got to work. So this season, season 3, is our sexual season. So we're talking about all things sex.
All things sex, good and bad, which is all the things that we need to partake in, because you can't just talk about the good part of sex. You got to talk about the bad part of sex, because what we learned is that coronavirus, quarantine, the state of the world has caused many people to be traumatized by either not having enough sex or not having enough sex. So that's where we're at with it.
Well, maybe, and not even just not having enough, but because they were locked down and some people were together more than they normally are or anything, just it opened your eyes up to maybe we want to try something new, or maybe the quality of what we're doing is not necessarily what we want. So it just sparked a conversation, and we thought it was an excellent topic, and we went with it.
Not only was it an excellent topic, but it was brought up in past conversations. We just didn't know how to implement it properly into the flow of what we already had going on. So what we decided to do with season 3 is dedicate season 3 to those concerns regarding sex.
Yeah. So, and we thought that not only was it an important topic, but I mean, it was really relevant. Sex is everywhere. It's happening all the time. Mm-hmm. It's in music, it's in media, it's in our homes. I mean, it's a part of life. So it permeates every aspect of our lives. So this season, we're going to cover history. We're going to cover several different aspects around the narrative around sex. We're going to talk about toys. We're going to talk about products. We're going to talk about relationships. We're going to talk about trauma. We're going to talk about self-awareness, care, and healing. I mean, we're going to cover so much.
So like I said, buckle up, because it's a lot, but it's all going to be good. So I think that it's good for us to take a step back and understand that sex is a thing that a lot of us are doing, right? And doing
say it again.
A lot of us are doing.
Yeah.
We're not doing, whatever. But doing the do is not an easy do to do. So it is important.
Elaborate.
So doing the do, which is sex, is not an easy do to do for many of us for many reasons. And we've uncovered that with one of our special guests. I cannot wait for this episode to come out. But we talked to her about what it takes to have these experiences successfully in a way that we are fulfilled as women. We do talk about the men's side of it, but as women, what does it take for us to engage in this experience in a successful, fulfilling, happy way? Because doing the do is easy to do, but is it good? We've learned that by doing the do, trauma can be caused. So it's important for us to not only talk about the fun parts of sex, but to also educate on the things that can be done or changed to make the experience a better one.
Right. And so we're going to cover all the things, all these different topics to make a cohesive season that's going to touch on everything that we just mentioned. We also want to highlight the positivity of sex. Because as women, this is from her point of view, right?
Mhm.
So we want all of you to be engaging in positive, fulfilling, and satisfying sexual experiences. I mean, we want us all to be involved in completely consensual experiences. I mean, we want to lift the veil, remove shame, negativity, pain, displeasure associated with sex, even discomfort and pain that may come along with it. Just talking through those things and thinking about different options that you have to help get you through these things.
And the shame of,
Right.
we want to remove the shame of not being comfortable enough to talk about it.
Right. And that's a big piece of this season is communication. I mean, as we've mentioned before, communication is a huge thing in all aspects of our lives, but focusing on that in your sexual experiences is paramount. It's really a big deal. And it's a natural and beautiful experience. I mean, it really should be. So that's just something that we want to keep the conversation going and share our experiences. And we have different experts that we're going to be talking to that's going to enlighten us on some things that we may not necessarily know or haven't had the courage to ask about.
And so what we are asking for our listeners to do this season is the same thing that we've been asking our listeners to do in previous seasons, and that is to engage. Engage with us on all the platforms that we have out there because we're available. We want to talk about what you want to talk about, but we don't know what that is or what concerns you may have if we're not getting proper feedback. So we're definitely asking people to reach out to us. And we have stressed it in the past numerous times, anonymous, anonymous, anonymous. You can be totally anonymous. We can have these epic conversations and no one know who you are because your story, your experience may not only be beneficial to you, but it can be beneficial to somebody else. We won't know that unless you share. So if you are open, willing, and able to, we ask for your feedback. Any questions or concerns you all may have, please feel free to reach out to us. You can send us an email. You can reach out to us from Her Point of View DM on IG. You can send us a message on Facebook. All those platforms are open for you to communicate with us.
And you see how this season came together from the participants of the vision board. They are also listeners. And we shaped this season to meet what they had asked us about or what they wanted to hear. So your contributions are really important and we want them. We hope that you'll reach out to us. So thinking back to season 1 and 2, there were some elements of season 1 and 2 that you're going to see again in season 3.
Mm-hmm.
So we've included some more special guests this season to help us have this multifaceted conversation because we're just going to touch on everything. But we also are bringing back some of the things that we did before. So we're going to bring you his point of view again. We've connected with a group of men that were more than willing to come on and share their viewpoint. You're really going to enjoy it. They were open. They were ready to have a conversation about whatever we wanted to talk about. Whatever questions that we had from our listeners or from us, they were open, ready to have a conversation. So we're going to have his point of view again. We're also bringing back One Question, One Truth. That is our panel of women that come together. And if you haven't heard those, go back to season 1 and 2. You'll get a feel for the style of those episodes.
And if you know of From Her Point of Views, One Question, One Truth, and you want to be a participant in that, please let us know. We are always open to having that dialogue. It doesn't have to be a full episode. It could be a bonus clip. You could be the bonus clip. So if you want to participate in that solely by yourself, or even with maybe 1 or 2 of your friends, we will open up the platform for you guys to do that as well.
Mm-hmm. So essentially this season has been, crafted to the specifications of our listeners. It really goes back to the mission of why we started this in the first place. And that was
because From Her Point of View is from her point of view for her point of view.
Right. And we wanted to bring you all into the conversations that we were having all the time. And if you have a friend that you're frank with and you talk about all the things, you'll understand where from her point of view came from. And bringing in other women and creating a larger sisterhood is really what we wanted to do. To have you have a place that you can hear like-minded individuals who have been through what you've been through, or going through what you're going through, or have some advice to give you, or even just to hear you, because that's so important. Sometimes we're just not heard. And that is the purpose of this platform, to be heard. We want to hear her point of view.
We absolutely do. So we continue to open up our doors to anyone listening, anyone who wants to participate. We are women, so we know what women go through. We know the struggles that we have. And even in, previous experiences from our friends or family, we've gotten so much positive feedback from what we've been doing over this course. And it's crazy because when you think about it, we've only been technically doing this for a year, right? Mm-hmm. And in a year's time, we have touched so many lives. We have impacted people to have the conversations that they necessarily would not have had we not brought these things up. Mm-hmm. And that is just so heartwarming to us, because that's the mission. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what we sought out to do. And to know that we're doing that only a year in just makes me super excited for all the things that we are going to do and accomplish as we continue to move forward.
Another highlight from her point of view, the fact that you, Sherry, are bringing this positivity to it, because you know how I am and how I'm on the back end all the time, looking at the numbers and looking at the analytics and being like, how did these numbers explain or convert to what we're doing and what we're providing? Our following on Instagram, teeny tiny.
Let's talk about it.
Teeny tiny, okay?
But we know that you're watching.
But that's the thing.
And you're engaging, but you're not following us. Well, and we only ask that you follow us so that you can stay up to date with all the amazing content that we're putting out daily.
But this is the thing about what's deceptive about the numbers. So I'm looking at other things and saying, oh my goodness, look at how this following is growing over here and how this following is growing over there. And I listen to my own, I listen to what I post on the page. So if I'm starting to compare, I say, you know what, this connected with me. That's why I'm sharing it with you. But anyway, going back to the numbers. The following is not what I want it to look like. Okay. But when we go on the back end and we look at who's listening, those numbers have grown in leaps and bounds.
We have listened all over the country.
Do not be deceived by those numbers that you see when you go and you look at a page and you say, oh, they only have this many followers. That means this, that, or the other. Because those are organic followers. Those are people that are actually listening and engaging. And that's what makes the difference. So it was important for me to shout that out, that I appreciate every last one of you that follow us, that engage with us in the conversations, that do hop into DMs and do reach out to us and say, you know what, that post connected with me. I'm glad that you shared it, or, left a comment or something like that. That is the point. That's the purpose.
That is absolutely the point and the purpose. And we appreciate all the people who are consistent in doing that, because if it affects you, a tap on the screen to say you liked it is all we need. We don't need it, because honestly, we won't do this thing with or without you. I mean, I'm sorry to say, but this was started by us for a reason, but ultimately it continues whether they're listening or not. But we like to know that whatever we posted that day made your day, made you smile, made you think about something, made you have that conversation with your spouse or your best friend or your sister that you've been holding on to, just didn't know how to say it. And that one post was so enlightening. You're like, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it. And I'm going to say it just like that, because we all have to live in our truth. And that's pretty much what the posts are. Very positive. I keep telling Dr. Ashley not to pay attention to the numbers, because our people are real people. We believe that. And we know that what is for us will be for us. So in this year's time, our success has exceeded what we ever thought we could possibly do in this time frame. So the goals are only getting bigger. The platform is growing. The conversations are going to be even more epic. I don't even know if that's possible, but it's popping. Okay. It's happening because the people that we have on this season, I am so excited about. I want to put the season out tomorrow.
The whole thing in one package?
Yes. Are just so good. But we're going to give you teasers because you got to stay engaged. We got to be consistent with what we're doing. And you all got to be consistent, more consistent with what you're doing. Because if you're watching, let us know you're watching. That's all.
Like we said, there are many ways for you to do that. You can follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram from Her Point of View. You can send us an email. You can also look into the Podbean patron program. That will help us to continue to bring the noise, and
you could be a silent partner.
Keep you engaged.
Wink.
And so there's so many ways to connect. And like Sherry said, the show will go on, and we're excited to bring you what we're bringing you this season. We were excited to do 1 and 2, but season 3, I think you're really going to really see who we are.
I also wanted to point out that we're also doing something as well. I don't like to say small businesses, so I'm going to say up and growing, because we're all entrepreneurs, right? I'm an entrepreneur, you're an entrepreneur. And the word small business, okay. So we're going to say up and coming businesses. We are posting promos for our listeners, by our supporters, for people who are engaged, where you can get a discount for maybe a service or a product or something that we ourselves have partook in. So we're putting that out there for our listeners to support up and coming businesses, local up and coming businesses, mostly in the Maryland area, but we're branching off to other places as well. But we're doing that so that you all can support another way, and also to just enjoy some of the things that we enjoy. So look out for those posts. They're in our story pretty much.
Look out for them. And if you are a up and coming entrepreneur and would like to offer a discount for your product or service, or just share more information about it, please let us know, and we will be happy to experience your product or service and then share it.
We can add you to the list.
So that's it. Go ahead.
No, so that's it.
So that's what we got going on for season 3. We're excited to bring it to you, and we cannot wait to bring you these episodes.
Yay! Good stuff.
You've been listening to From Her Point of View, the show curated specifically for women by women, covering a wide range of topics. Though this is From Her Point of View, we want your point of view too. Become a part of the show. Questions, comments, and feedback are welcome through Instagram and Facebook, where we post regularly. Email us at fromherpointofviewllc@gmail.com. Leave us a voicemail at 443-507-8032. Tune in weekly, and please share with your family and friends, as we can be found on your favorite platforms: Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Music. Thank you for listening to From Her Point of View.